So I have the honor of introducing our speaker for today, which is AJ, and I'll probably pronounce your name wrong, Kolankowski. Pretty close, right? And I really am looking forward to his talk today because I really enjoyed the last one. So his title today, It's Never Too Early. Why an alarm wakes us up one day and we sleep through it the next time. So, welcome, AJ.
Thank you. Here, and this is for you. Here, take this. That's for you. You're welcome. How's that? Dead center. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm going to start with a little meditation. And the reason for this, has anyone heard of gate control theory? Yeah, me neither until last week. So I'm 4 weeks away from having my first child. Yay! So I'm super nervous and fearful, and we're taking all the classes, and I'm reading the books and doing all that stuff. And one of the things I learned is something called gate control theory. And I thought this pertains to women in labor and pain, and how when we focus on something, it increases. And that's specifically what it's about, from what I learned. But I think this can be applied to anything in our lives. So the meditation we're going to do today is based on this. So I want everyone to give the biggest smile they've ever given right now. It's going to be goofy. Some of us are going to be giggling. No matter what's going on in your life, just smile, right? And if you're not, I can see you all, so you got to put it on. And so this is a smile meditation that I learned. I thought I invented it, but it's actually been an ancient practice. Sufism is one of the places where it kind of started with, which is a mystic culture from the Middle East. And it helps with this gate control theory. So gate control theory is basically, if we focus our intention on something, then that's what we get more of, right? And that's a lot of science of mind. That's what we focus on. That's what helped bring us all here together, is because we believe in something along those lines. And that's where this smile meditation, some of you aren't smiling anymore, by the way. It's not, don't make me up here alone doing it. I know there's bad things too, but the smile will bring the oxytocin, the different endorphins and things into us that helps us attract the things we want. So that's the purpose of this meditation right now. So to understand that no matter what's going on, even if we fake it till we make it with this smile, it's changing the physical composition of our body, which changes the composition of the world, which changes all things across everything. So keep smiling if you want, or stop. And sometimes I do this alone, and then I'm just giggling as well in the mirror or whatever, and that's fun. But it's better in a group, so we can all feel this little awkwardness together and get through it. But now, do we feel a little bit better? Right? Just from smiling for a few seconds or for a minute. So the power is there. So there's another way we can do this. That next speech, I'll show you another gate control theory that also helps us see the truth in everything we practice and everything we believe here, and why we're here every week. So I have a speech called It's Never Too Early. Before we jump into that, like I said, I'm having a daughter in about 4 weeks. So, hey, thank you. Yes, I'm terrible. Thank you. Thank you. Does that mean they'll visit more or less? Okay, yes, hallelujah. Thank you. I knew if I brought that up, something would come. On the way here, I was racking my brain on, okay, here's how the speech is going to go. I've got my 3 points and the opening and the close and the structure. And I came up with Doug, and we were talking about family and how life's going to change and all these things. So I wanted to just put that out there and hear if there was any wisdom or intuition that came from someone or a message. And there it is. So thank you. Now, to the speech. So it's never too early. The reason I chose this title, to put it into perspective, is because I have always had wisdom. We all have, right? It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't disappear. But something brought me here with this wisdom, this knowledge, this beingness, this intuitive feeling of the essence and eternity and all things that connects everyone. And there's proof of this because I have pictures of me in kindergarten surrounded by my friends and basically orating to them the universe and how things work. And this is something that's always been dear to my heart. And as I started to grow, I would always be hanging out with older people, and not just a couple of years older because they were cool and they could, get me cigarettes and beer. It was because they had wisdom. I'm talking people who are 5 times my age. One of my best friends turned 100 years old this year, and that's actually my grandmother. Doug is my business partner now in a venture that we're working on to help people transform their lives. So this has always been something that I've gravitated towards, and I never understood why, but now I do. And it's because of that wisdom. It's the introspection. It's knowing the I am. It's knowing that things turn in on themselves to be able to see the truth. It's knowing that when I look out at the stars, no matter what I'm doing right here, right now, is affecting all of this. And it's hard to put into words, but that is why, again, I chose this title of this speech, because for me, it was hard to find a reason to dive deeper into that. Because everyone's always saying it's never too late, right? It's never too late. Colonel Sanders started KFC when he was 65, right? And look at it now, right? It's never too late. But that never resonated with me because I was always the young one. I was always in these groups of people who are telling me it's never too late when I'm like, there's so much ahead. So this message of it's never too early is something that really clicked for me, because we can start now. And another reason is what Buddha said. So Buddha was asked, how many lifetimes do we have to go through before we figure this thing out? And Buddha said, imagine a mountain that's a mile long, a mile wide, and a mile high. And every 100 years, a bird flies over that mountain with a silk scarf in his beak. And the scarf just lightly drapes the top of the mountain. And however long it takes for that mountain to be withered away, that's how long you've been doing this. So it's never too early. Get started now. The sticks. So there's 3 things on this journey that we can use. Not only 3, but these 3 will help. And one of them is forgiveness. Thank you, Donna said that to me this morning too. And forgiveness, there's only 2 people we ever need to forgive. Right? Does anyone know who those 2 people are? Yeah. And who's the other person? Okay, everybody say it with me. I forgive you, Doug. I forgive you, Doug. Okay, so we got one off the list, right? Exactly. It's us and other, right? And as we go further into this, we realize and we recognize that there's actually only one person, which is why most people in this room gave me the answer of who do we need to forgive? Ourselves, right? Everything is a mirror. It's all connected. There's a silver thread that connects us all. That's where the forgiveness comes in. So as we deepen our wisdom, we realize that's the truth. That's the evidence, the essence. And forgiveness is a skill that we can actually get better at as we do it, right? It sucks at first. We don't know how to do it. We don't know what to do. We don't know what to say. But the more we use it, then the more we do it. So I'm going to grab my self-forgiveness here that I put together. And this kind of happened by accident. I was doing forgiveness for others because I thought that was, it's not me. Come on, it couldn't be me. And then somehow, some way, this just came out, and it was forgiving you, AJ. Dear AJ, I want you to know I forgive you. For all of the quick decisions, there was always me there, guiding you. For all of the harsh words or actions you took out of insecurity or shame, I watched and allowed you to learn from these. For all of the moments you spoke when silence would suffice, I listened, knowing perfection is always here. For all the guilt you've carried because of your name and what happened to your sisters when we were children, I understood with compassion, knowing this load was one that you could bear and was a deep purpose for you to know, one of the main reasons you're here. For all of the times you turned inward when emotions arose, I was waiting inside with compassion. For all the times you compared yourself to others and were left feeling small, like a bumbling child, or a person less deserving of time on this earth, I sat with you, cradling your heart, knowing you would move forward. Blah, blah, blah. So there's a few more pages of that. But that's how it goes, right? We get to work. We start by dipping our toe in. Maybe we forgive others because, they're the problem. And the more we do it, we realize they're not the problem. And even further than that, we realize they are us. Even further than that, we forgive ourselves. And so that is a skill that if we can develop that, then our lives will change dramatically. Now, everyone, hold up your stick. I gave everyone a stick. And you might be asking, why? Haha, see that? That's a why. Imagine, there you go. Flip it around if it's a weird B with no bottom. But look at the stick. Imagine the forgiveness you'd like. Think of it and ask yourself why. And the answer is right here as well, just so you know. And I'll tell you later. Okay. Number 2. The second tool on this journey, and not the only tool, again, there's tons of tools, but this one is discovery. So it's never too early to develop discovery, to learn how to discover. It allows us to be connected to Source, to become more of who we are and who we want to be. It's not something that we discover out there, once again. It's not the gold mine. It's not the relationship. It's not the, perfect hairdo. Those things are great. And if you have them, share them. But it's not the discovery that brings the transformation at an essence level. It's discovering how Source speaks to us. And that happens in profound ways in all sorts of different voices, different people, different angels, different things coming into our lives. And this is something that we cover again in the course that Doug and I help people through called the Transformation Guide, is we help people discover how Source speaks. And this, to me, is one of the most transformational things that ever happened in my life. Because the truth is, Source is always speaking, right? Source is speaking through me right now. I'm just a puppet, right? And Source is just doing their thing. And the deeper we can connect with that, the deeper we can understand ourselves, where we came from, where we're going, and all things. I'll tell you a story about how this happens for me. Okay, so one way that Source speaks to me is with coincidences. And is there such thing as a coincidence? No, that's right, yeah. And I had to learn that too. I had to discover that because I didn't know. I thought, I just happened to see someone I knew from a while ago who had a message. Whoa, that's weird. But to me, once I was able to discover that Source speaks, then all of a sudden I could see it was happening everywhere. And so just a couple days ago, I got a new job doing construction stuff, doing home renovations and handyman type stuff with a friend of mine. And his brother is my accountant, coincidentally. And so we went golfing on Friday, me and my accountant. And I thought, we're just going to play golf, maybe grab a beer after, no big deal. We go to have lunch afterwards, and we start talking, just me and my accountant, the bean counter. I didn't think it was going to be anything profound. And next thing you know, he starts telling me the story of his life and how he came to be and how he was pulled out of the womb with forceps, which is why he has this neurological thing going on, and how God spoke to him and told him that he will be healed, and how the healing process came about. And all these coincidences through his life. And next thing you know, my accountant and I are crying at lunch about the profundity of this message that came. So if we dial it back a little bit, we can see that, okay, his brother I just happened to take a job with that same day. And then he just happened to be in a place to be able to share this message. And so, again, we might be wondering why. Hold up your stick again, everyone. That's right. And don't worry, size doesn't matter, even though mine's the biggest. But we might be asking why. And the answer is right here again. Don't forget. But that's not necessarily what is the most important, although we do want to know it. Why does Source speak to you in this way? So look at this stick. Or if you haven't discovered how Source speaks, yes, why have I not discovered how Source speaks? Okay. Number 3, tool number 3, the alarm clock. So has anyone ever slept through an alarm? Okay, has anyone ever wondered why one alarm worked one day but it didn't work the next day? Have you ever thought about it? Didn't want to. Yeah. Okay, well that's nice. Teach us how to do that, please. So the same alarm gives us a different result sometimes. And there's a really interesting metaphor there. I don't know, does anyone know G.I. Gurdjieff? Have you heard of Gurdjieff? Yeah, so he was a Western mystic who traveled all throughout the Eastern world and learned a lot of practices and methods. And this is one of his methods, is the alarm clock method. So the idea goes like this. No matter what methods we have, right, we come here on a Sunday to wake up and to get tuned back into, our essence. But that goes away, and that trickles away. And so the alarm clock always needs to be changed, or it needs to be revamped, or it needs to be oiled, or we need a different form of alarm clock, right? Because these alarm clocks start to wear off. Because we're beings in this place, right? Mechanical beings, which is what Gurdjieff describes us as. This physical being is just a mechanism, right? We fall for our comforts. So when the alarm doesn't wake us up, then we go, oh man, I'll try again tomorrow with the same alarm. But we have to be diligent and consistent with the changing of these alarms. And that's what's really, really challenging, because continually setting these new alarm clocks means change, means transformation every single day, every minute, our presence. But our presence starts to strengthen. And again, this is another skill, just like forgiveness and just like discovery, that we can develop to begin to be better at. And this can come in large ways, small ways. For me, I don't know if you can hear this. Do you hear that? Hold on. It squeaks. Did you hear it? Everyone be very, very quiet. Just listen. Did you hear the squeak? Probably not, but I can hear the squeak, and that was totally just random. I did not plan that, but it's this cute little heart wristband that I love, that my love got for me. And when I bend my wrist a certain way, it squeaks. And every time it squeaks, I say Shiva, because that's a deep connection for me into spirit, a message that was delivered to me through Shiva. And I say Shiva. And that's an alarm clock for me. It's not always going to work, though, right? No matter how much I love this wristband, no matter how much it plays this sweet little squeak, I'm going to stop hearing it eventually or not notice it. I'm going to have to switch it up. And that's the nature of existence, is change, of being here. So this is a form of alarm clock that is simple but profound. So we want to constantly be changing that up and trying new things. Now, you might want to ask why. Again, everyone hold up your stick. And does anyone know the answer to this question yet? I'll give you a hint, it's right here. Oh, branch out, choices. What else? Come on, Doug, you gotta have one. It's all about nature, yeah. Ready? Grab the limb of the Y. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. There's the answer. Does anyone know what this is? Come on, Donna. I'll help you later, don't worry. What is it now? Yep. One direct source. That's the answer. You might have wanted something a little more like actionable or something that you can use today, but that's the answer. So when you ask the question why, where is the answer? I, or like Russ said, one is all, right? There's only one. Sub-ek. I don't know if you heard that, but it's Sanskrit, and that means there's only one. Sub-ek. Sub-ek. And there's another alarm clock maybe that's happening that we can use for later. Sub-ek. Practice your Sanskrit. So to learn more important tools, there's lots of different ways to do that. Doug and I have a course coming up called the Transformation Guide where we help people learn these tools to transform their lives. That's the whole reason we do it, is because our lives transformed, and we want to be able to bring that to as many people in as many places as possible. And it's never too early. Thank you. I love you. Hey. Thanks, Vera. You're up.